great memories.
Now let's let it fly, Cory. Win that scholarship. I'm throwing the books, baby. Let's go. Get this place going. Get it going.
The tradition continues all day long. First on ESPN, it's Kansas and Illinois. Then at 7, Miami hosts North Carolina. At 9, Cincinnati and Xavier hook up. Then at 9:30 on ESPN2, Arizona takes on Nebraska. At midnight, back on ESPN, it's Oklahoma State versus UNLV. But we begin the day from the United Center in Chicago as the Jayhawks take on the Fighting Illini. Tip-off next. ESPN's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by the 2000 Mercuries. Mercury, live life in your lane.
Welcome to the house that Michael Jordan built for a college matchup between top 25 teams. It's number 6 Kansas against the 22nd ranked Illini of Illinois. The Jayhawks come in 8-1, led by their junior candidate for All-American, Kenny Gregory, off to a terrific start, Quinn Buckner.
Kenny Gregory is a guy that likes to get out in the open court. Had a big game against the Columbus, Ohio State Buckeyes, which is where he's from. He can get to the rack quickly. I suspect as you watch him tonight, this afternoon, I should say, he's got to have some strong finishes against the Illini.
Joining him in the starting 5, the sophomore Jeff Boschee, along with Nick Bradford, Nick Collison, the freshman, and Eric Chenoweth, the 7'1" senior from California. As for the Illini, they are led by Cory Bradford, a dynamic guard. Last year, he was the Big Ten Freshman of the Year, and this year, a Wooden candidate for All-American.
Well, he was a Wooden candidate for good reason. Last year, he carried the team. This year, he's got some help, but he's a guy that really gets to the rack out of that Memphis town and has a lot of good products like Penny Hardaway. Here, we see him taking it to the rack. His real strength is he can knock jump shots down with range.
Joining him in the starting lineup, Frank Williams, Cleotis Brown, Robert Archibald, and the junior Marcus Griffin. Lon Kruger is the head coach for the Fighting Illini, and what a job he has done. Last year, did the almost did the unthinkable, winning the Big Ten tournament.
Won the Big Ten tournament after going 3-13 in the conference, and they beat Ohio State, who got to the Final Four, and they lost to Michigan State. But they had a great run, and he's got a lot more talent to try to see can he put together this year.
Kansas controls the tip.
Illinois is out in an aggressive man-to-man. They'll overplay if they can get to the top, and they're doing a lot of switching here early.
Boschee got caught in between. Ball stolen away from Bradford. He gets down, and we have a jump ball.
Oh, did you see the effort early? On the floor for the ball.
Roy Williams' team's known for playing hard. There you see him. 313 wins. He's 12 years at Kansas. Highest career winning percentage by an active coach.
Roy Williams has done an outstanding job. Has gotten great talent. He's been able to get them to play. They're still trying, like a lot of teams, that want to get to that big prize, winning that NCAA championship. He's got a lot of talent with this club. Maybe a little young, though.
Down low, Griffin working on Chenoweth. How about that?
He had Chenoweth with nowhere to go defensively because Griffin was at the basket.
I mentioned the Jayhawks beat Ohio State on Thursday. This is actually the 3rd game as Boschee knocks down another three. He has been on fire from out there, shooting 61% from three-point land.
That's impressive. I like his poise, but drilling 60% from anywhere, even if it's in the paint, is pretty good.
From the line is not bad. So a miscue by the Illini, and Kansas will have the ball. When we talk about Kansas, this is the 3rd game in their last 4 outings against a Big Ten team. They lost the first game in this building against Michigan State.
Oh, good pass.
Gregory loses it. How's that for making up?
Well, what he did was he went up with the ball and he felt somebody hit it, so he just dropped it and then came back, and with some hops, he powered that one down.
Got a 41-inch vertical.
Kansas is in there man-to-man, and they'll get out and play you aggressively. You see Archibald is out on the perimeter trying to handle it.
Again, they're down on the floor, and Kansas with another steal. Bochy taking it to length. The dish out to Bradford. Collison looking down low. Pass deflected. Here come the Illini. Griffin kicked out. Williams passing into the corner. And finally, it's Bradford off the back iron. Archibald scrambling. Bradford gets the rebound. And a traveling violation on Cory Bradford.
Yeah, he never came to the 2-foot stop. He came to 1-2 and tried to go with it, and they weren't going to let him get the second one.
So 3 turnovers in the early going for the Illini.
Well, you know that Kansas plays a lot of people on their team, as does Illinois, but they try to pressure you into turnovers.
How about Bochy? It's like a free throw for him. He knocks down another.
Comes off a screen and no one steps out.
8-2. This is the 3rd game against a ranked opponent for the Illini. They lost the previous 2. Bradford off a screen, rebounded by Griffin, and he puts it back. He's tough.
You can see it. I mean, it's when he caught the ball and shot it, he was never nervous, never anxious, and just put it right down.
Gregory, baseline, trap, kick back out.
Bochy got away with a little carry right there.
Collison finds the front iron.
I guess that's what you call a good block out. The ball hits the floor.
They're known for their fundamentals, both of these teams. Talk about Lon Kruger. The style of play he likes to employ. As what a block there by Chenoweth. He didn't even have to leave the ground.
Yeah, I thought Bradford made a bad decision.
Oh, alley-oop. A little too high for Gregory. A pin to the board by Archibald.
Wow, goodness, did he come over there with some force. I mean, with Kansas teams, the thing that, you know, you look at Roy Williams, and he has this very soft demeanor, if you will, in terms of the way you look at it. But they're a physical, aggressive team. You'll see Archibald come over and get that block. He goes down. I mean, there was clearly contact with the body, but I thought that was a very good block by Archibald.
Certainly exciting by the sophomore from Baldwin, Missouri, originally from Scotland. And Gregory at the line to shoot 2. This is an area where he has struggled coming into this game. He's only shooting 36% from the free throw stripe.
Yeah, that's an area clearly that Kenny Gregory is going to have to improve upon. And I think he's also going to have to extend this game out if he wants to try to, you know, further his basketball career.
Right now considered a slasher, and probably to take it to the next level will have to develop that jump shot.
But he gets the bragging rights. He had Ohio State playing against Michael Redd and Scooney Penn. He and Michael Redd played against each other from Columbus. And Kenny Gregory was taking a lot of heat because Ohio State went to the Final Four. So he got bragging rights, at least for this summer.
Marlon London checking in for Kenny Gregory. He'll get a breather.
London is back home.
Also in is Nate Mass playing point guard now. Bochy on him. Here comes the trap by the Jayhawks.
I was talking about physical. If you play against Kansas team, you've got to be strong with the ball. And that's what I mean by physical. I don't think they do anything dirty. They just come at you hard, and they'll force the officials to make the calls.
Bradford from the corner for 3. Loose ball, and Nick Bradford knocks it over to Bochy. Jayhawks want to run. Quick pass down the middle. Chenoweth finishes nicely.
Well, it's good running by Eric Chenoweth to get out after being on the other end.
Here's Bradford with the skip pass into the corner. Leotis Brown knocks down a 3-pointer.
You know, it was interesting. Talking to Lon Kruger, that's who he said has really come along is Leotis Brown. Played a little injured last year, but now he's more athletic. He's knocking down jump shots.
They love Brown and they love Cook. There's Collison missing on the hook shot. The Illini with a chance to trim the lead. Bounce pass down low. Griffin. Cook couldn't slam it home. Here comes Bochy ahead to Bradford. Easy layup.
Bochy's so good. Heads up, looks out, see if anybody's running. That time Bradford out in front of the pack.
They got a hand check on Bochy, so So he picks up a cheap foul. That is his first foul. And we have a break in the action. The Jayhawks have been all over the passing lanes, and Boshi finding Bradford, who finds Chenoweth. Jayhawks with the early lead. 14-7, the Jayhawks with the early lead here at the United Center. You know, this is actually the second game of the year for both of these teams here in the United Center. Kansas, the last time they were here, they lost to Michigan State. And, of course, the Illini lost to Duke. But this game, they appear in the early going to be a little more polished, a little more experienced.
Well, you play those kind of games that they played. I think what happens is when you go to practice, you have some specifics to practice against. And when you're playing that top caliber kind of team, they make your effort become much more purposeful in practice because you don't want to run the risk of getting embarrassed.
Frank Williams went behind the back and lost it. That was one of the things that Lon Kruger had told us before the game, is that he has to watch that. He's got to realize it's a different level of defense that he's playing on college basketball as opposed to high school.
Well, the other thing is he's been out a year. You know, you miss the competition, you lose the edge, and a lot of first-year players, I don't care where they come from, junior college or not, don't really know how hard you have to play on major Division I college levels, you know, in terms of your effort.
Drew Gooden tried to save it there. His foot was on the baseline, so turnover for Kansas. Take a look at the shooting in the early going. Kansas doing a better job so far. Still early. Williams again trying to work off Heinrich, and Heinrich got a hand there for the block.
Heinrich's a tough defensive player off the bench. He's second in the team in steals.
But he makes a miscue on the pass. Looking for Marlon London.
Now, one of the three freshmen, you look at Gooden, Heinrich, and you like what they bring. Nick Collison hadn't really got involved in the offense, but these freshmen bring a lot of additional firepower for the Jayhawks.
And a lot of people eager to compare them to that 93-94 team that had Jock Bond and Scott Pollard, and they have a foul on Marlon London.
Now, we haven't even talked about number 33, Luke Axtell, who transferred from Texas. I mean, he gives them range. So, you know, he's really first full year in the program. So they've got a lot of new faces that they're trying to integrate into their system.
Frank Williams again on the baseline, runs into some trees. Cook tries to slam it, but he draws a foul. Charge it to London again.
The thing Frank Williams has to learn, there's nowhere to go. I mean, he's in traffic. He's lucky here. And from the time he got the ball, he really had about a 16-footer. He gets it over to Brian Cook, who goes to the basket and gets fouled. And I'm sure, as part of this conversation, that's one of the things that Lon Kruger is saying to Frank. If the defense lets you take the shot, take it. But don't drive it into traffic, because what Kansas will do is drive you baseline, and they always help on the baseline.
You see the numbers from Brian Cook. His dad, Norman, played basketball, ironically, for the Jayhawks of Kansas, and also played for the Celtics.
So Brian Cook is someone that the entire Illini staff is very high on.
Here's Collison with an ill-advised lob pass that was knocked away. Looking for Chenoweth in there.
That's youth. So you throw the ball in the post. Roy Williams will tell him, you've got to punch it in there with some real strength. You can't just fly it in there, because there's too many good athletes on the floor, and they can get to it if you leave it in the air too long.
Here's Axtell. Moved his feet.
Because he's a shooter, and he was taking a step to get into his shot and got forced to pass.
So it's the fourth turnover for the Jayhawks. It's an interesting point. You talk about all the new people really trying to get everybody up on the same page. They really had a great outing against Ohio State.
Man, they playing against some good competition. You can't afford not to get better sooner. You can get embarrassed.
Chenoweth with that big paw was able to knock it to himself. Here's Heinrich. Chenoweth for three. Off the front iron.
See, that pass had to be given up.
Williams kicks it back for Griffin, and an offensive foul by Chenoweth.
That's Frank Williams that just caused that. right away, if he looked, he had a man wide open on the right, and instead he keeps the ball. Now, coming off the rebound, watch. There's a break, and we just don't get to see who the other player is. But he's wide open on the right side. So instead, he throws it to Griffin, and when you do that, Chenoweth had a chance to get back. Had Williams passed the ball forward, you buy Chenoweth.
Good point. You know, like Lon Kruger said, still looking to make the circus play as opposed to the fundamentally sound play. Axtell loses the ball on the on the baseline, I should say, and then chases it down. Gregory. Shot clock under 10. Deep bomb by Heinrich. Back iron, and they're going to get Chenoweth with an over the back.
Yeah, I suspect Boschee will be coming back in the game because Kansas offense all of a sudden has become stagnant as Chenoweth tried to go over the back of Griffin to get the ball and got a foul.
In for the Jayhawks, number 13, Jeff Boschee.
And as you said, Jeff Boschee checking in immediately.
Too many empty possessions. You got a freshman running the show, and you got someone as good as Boschee. All you want to do is get him fresh, get him back out on the floor.
Collison also back in for Axtell.
The other thing about Boschee, he's a little underrated as a defensive player. He's tough. And if you're tough at the point of attack with the ball, it really disrupts your offense, the other team's offense.
Here's Brown working on Bradford. Wants to take him off the dribble. Pull-up shot, tough. Knocked into the hands of Gregory. He wants to run. Spinning in the lane. Too strong. Keeps it alive. But Collison getting physical inside, and they'll charge him with the foul.
Collison is picking up his first foul, but it's going to be a physical game, I tell you that. And Illinois is going to have to learn how to play against that kind of play. Kansas has, because they played against Michigan State. Gregory can't quite get to the cup.
We're getting physical in the United Center. 14-9 our score.
A significant
with a lead, 14-9 here in the first half of their game with Illinois. Join ESPN tonight for a college basketball triple-header at 7. It's guard Ed Cota and the North Carolina Tar Heels. They'll be in Miami to take on the Hurricanes. Then at 9, number 1 ranked Cincinnati. And the inner city rival, they'll take on Xavier from the Cincinnati Gardens. And finally at midnight, UNLV hosting the Cowboys of Oklahoma State in the second game of the Las Vegas Showdown. Triple-header hoops later on tonight on ESPN. For more, you can log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com. And Cory Bradford off to a rough start, Quinn.
He's really struggled. He's 0 for 5 from the field. But Illinois is still, you know, in this thing reasonably tight with their best scorer not getting any numbers.
Otis Brown trapped in the corner. Here's Williams, the pull-up in the lane. Still can't find it.
But it's a better decision because you're not going to get to the basket with Chenoweth and Collison standing back there.
How about the pass there by Bradford, but Collison with a miscue in the feet.
Well, they probably got a little nudge in the back, and Roy is just saying, just go up with the ball. But I don't think Collison ever got his balance.
He's had some fantastic games as Williams drives baseline on Boschee. And he still is forcing the issue with no success.
He really is forcing the issue, and he's hurting his team because he won't let the offense move. For a point guard to come and take a shot right away, you really make people not want to move because they don't think you're going to pass it.
Collison fakes and moves his feet once again. So the freshman, and look at Roy Williams.
He had his hands on his head. I think he's seen enough, though.
He said, I had enough of this freshman. Let me send in another freshman to go get him. So send in Drew Gooden to go get Collison, who had 3 turnovers thus far.
I think if they talk to Collison about anything, it's about trying to do too much. You know, he just wants to try to create some things himself.
Both teams in an offensive drought. They haven't scored for over 4 minutes. Talking about field goals. Chukwudebe, the pull-up with a man in his face, in and out. Gregory with another rebound.
And you see how much better Kansas gets into an offense now that they've got Boschee on the floor.
Nice bounce pass by Boschee. Spinning is Chenoweth. Gregory digs out the rebound.
Makes a nice pass.
Gooden's shot is deflected. Cross-court pass intercepted by Frank Williams. Quick dish, and Bradford could not convert it, but we have a foul.
Remember the play we discussed with Williams? where he didn't pass the ball. He made a concerted effort this time. Lon Kruger talked to him. He made a concerted effort, even though he made a tough pass, to try to make sure he got the ball to the shooter this time, because that's what he's got to do. If you can't beat your man, then you've got to make the defensive man, Bradford, attack you. Then you get it to him. He was going to go behind his back and didn't quite get it there, but he's making an effort.
I tell you what, there's a lid on the basket for both teams. Struggling from the field, no field goals. And over 5 minutes for the Illini and for 4 minutes and 44 seconds for Kansas. And the drought continues for Illinois.
Tough
Cook
shot.
trying to end it. He can't.
Yeah, that's a tough shot. Williams takes a bad shot, and then Cook just takes a tough shot. That's a youthful mistake. But you know what? A lot of this is good defense. It's not so much anything else. I mean, Gooden gets a putback, but it's good defense.
Nice weak side there by weak side tap in by Gooden. Illinois has missed their last 10 shots. Chukwudebe spinning on Chenoweth and draws a foul. I believe Bradford got him from behind.
Victor was going to get somebody. As soon as he head faked, he was going to try to make sure there was some contact made. Big, strong player, the most experienced player on the team. Head and shoulder fake gets Gooden up, Chenoweth, and I think from the back, might have been a foul by Bradford.
Chukwudebe, their senior. His name means the Lord keepeth. He knocks down the front end, and Collison, after getting a tongue lashing, will come back.
Now you got young guys today. Sophomore year, he might get a tongue lash. This year, he'll get some real strong encouragement. It's a little different, you know. And I don't. And Roy Williams will get after him now. You know that.
Well, what do you call it when Roy Williams talks to the junior?
Oh, it's just a nice conversation.
A little advice there. Yeah.
Just a little friendly advice by that time. If you'd like to continue playing, you better figure out what I'm saying.
Ball goes off of Bradford, so Illinois catches a break here. We'll stay down on this end. Chukwudebe goes out, and checking in is
bodies flying, feet flying, all kind of action in there.
thump.
Doom, doom.
We are in Chicago after all. Johnson working the perimeter.
That Griffin and Frank Williams high school teammate Sergio McClain is coming to the game.
Lucas Johnson forcing the issue on the baseline, and Gooden's got a rebound.
You can't go baseline on Kansas. That's where they want to send you because they get help.
And Nick Bradford stuck out the elbow, and a good call by Paul Jansen, the referee. That is his second foul on Bradford.
When you have trouble scoring, you need good defensive transition. Clearly, the right arm is in the chest of Lucas Johnson. And Bradford wanted to spin, but I don't think he thought that Johnson could get there in time. But Johnson made a very good effort to get position and draw that foul.
Some substitutions on the floor for Kansas. Heinrich back in, along with Axtell. Here's Cook. Oh, driving into the lane, lost the ball. So another turnover. Number 7 for Illinois. Gooden down low, the turnaround jump shot in between off the back iron, and a rebound into the hands of Sergio McClain. Griffin, the spin. Here come the Jayhawks the other way.
Well, there's been a lot of running, hasn't been a lot of scoring.
Collison spinning. He has excellent footwork.
Very solid footwork. Griffin did a good job staying down, but Collison just tough in that position.
Lucas Johnson with a traveling violation. So that's the 8th turnover for the Illini.
I mean, this game is about positioning and balance. I think you stay on balance. Watch. He's on balance the whole time. Can't get it there. He takes a tough shot. It's over pressure with a touch. Knocked it down. Both teams struggling to take care of the ball here with 8 minutes to go. Have 8 turnovers apiece.
Recruiting analyst Bob Gibbons rates him as the most fundamentally sound freshman coming into college basketball this year. Here's Gregory. The pull-up, tough shot. Doesn't get the bounce, but Chenoweth there, and Axtell can't finish it. Ball goes right into the hands of Chenoweth.
I mean, right into his hand. He was on his way running back for defense and just happened to show up.
Here's Collison again. Kicked out Axtell for 3. Too strong. Bad foul by Collison.
Yeah, Collison ought to know better. His dad has been a coach for 22 years, so he's been around enough basketball to know those kinds of fouls you can't afford to make.
One of those aggressive fouls made by the freshman. Kansas with an 8-point lead. And that will put the Illini in the bonus and send Griffin to the line.
At the line for Illinois, Marcus Griffin.
He shoots 65%. Marcus Griffin, the 1999 National Junior College Division II Player of the Year.
Replacing number 20.
That's a much-needed presence on the inside for the Illini.
Griffin's first one is off the back iron. But how about McLean digging out the rebound, and he draws a foul.
And he's a big, strong body, and this whole evolution, if you will, for Illinois has to be somewhat of a difficult process for Sergio McLean.
Check this. That foul was on Collison. That will be his 3rd.
You see, coming up with the rebound and taking it back up strong. Collison on the backside, they called him for the foul, but McLean was the guy, other than Bradford last year, that did a lot of the work and did some scoring. But he was a role player pretty much on those great teams in Peoria, Manu, with Griffin and Frank Williams. And so he's going to have to resume that here at Illinois, and it's an adjustment that he's struggled with some, I think.
He started the year, actually started the first 2 games before he went into that reserve role. When you talk about Peoria, Manuel, and the kids that have come out of there and the contribution that they're making to this program, it's fantastic. Heinrich with some spin moves. Nice dish to Axtell. Tough shot.
He can make shots. I mean, he's a guy that can shoot the ball, but you're right, Heinrich made about 3 or 4 pirouettes.
And the lead is up to 9. As we have a foul down low. I believe they got the other freshman, Heinrich. So that's his first foul.
First foul on Heinrich.
I'm watching Luke Axtell because I saw Roy Williams was livid at that play because he felt that there should have been some help there, and Axtell was the guy that should have been there. And they were trying to discern who it was. And Axtell said, "Was it my man?" And Coach looked at him, "Yes, it was." Collison has to take a break because of foul trouble.
You talk about the Peoria Manual players. Griffin, another one of those players that won 4 consecutive state titles at Peoria Manual.
Collison had the same problem against Michigan State. Foul trouble. He gets overly aggressive and has to sit down.
Chenoweth digs out the rebound. That's his 7th rebound. Here's London. Nice bounce pass over to Chenoweth.
Good look to get it along the baseline to the big fella.
He has 4. Lead is up to 10.
The Kansas, very much like a lot of good defensive teams, they deny. They won't let you catch. Some teams play you tough after the catch.
22-12 is our score. The Illini down 10. We will be back.
We've got a
Lead for the Jayhawks here in Chicago. We talked about the Peoria Manual connection that Illinois has. Marcus Griffin, Frank Williams, Sergio McLean. The 3 combined to win 11 state titles. 4 titles by Griffin and McLean, and then Frank Williams. Well, he only won 3 state titles. But Peoria Manual certainly on the map and one of the best high school programs in the country.
Well, there's no doubt about it. And Sergio McLean's father, Wayne, was the coach of that team. And Sergio was telling us that if they put Peoria on the map, which they probably did. You win 4 state championships. I mean, that puts anybody on the map. That's quite an accomplishment.
Gooden inside, increasing the lead to 12. Rupalia will take it.
He had
knocks it down.
I mean, because Gooden played him the way you should play a big man until he proves he can make a shot. Once he picks it up, back off of it.
That was their first field goal in over 9 minutes. It's the lead back down to 10. Gooden from the corner. Third matchup for Illinois against a ranked opponent.
And they want to get the monkey off their back there. They've lost it to Duke and Maryland. The Maryland game they lose just because there's a bank shot for a three-pointer at the end of the game. So they feel like they played well in those games. They just haven't, you know, gotten over the hump yet.
Here's McClain. Trying to go up against those 7-footers. Tough assignment.
This is who's got to get on track.
Bradford with a bomb, and again a miscue. Griffin digs out the rebound.
A good, smart play. And that's one of the better plays they've played from a strategic, tactical standpoint all day.
Frank Williams, the jump step, kicked out to Bradford. He takes Heinrich off the dribble. There's been a lid on that basket for Bradford.
Can't get off the snide. Made a really good move to get where he was going. 0 for 6.
You know, ESPN2 is going to start your college bowl season off tonight, 6 p.m. when quarterback Billy Volak leads Fresno State up against Utah and running back Mike Anderson. It's the 1999 EA Sports Las Vegas Bowl. That's tonight at 6 p.m. on ESPN2. And can you believe it? We're bowling already?
It's bowl time.
Get out the chips and dip.
And your favorite beverage. You know, this might be what gets Cory Bradford off the snide. I mean, speaking of Lon Kruger, I played with Lon Kruger. We went to China together some years ago, and he was a terrific point guard. So if Frank Williams is going to grow, he has the right tutelage there because Lon would give him what he sees through his eyes and help Frank kind of understand better what Williams needs to see.
You talk about Kruger. Not only was he a fantastic athlete in basketball, but he played baseball, actually played minor league baseball in the Cardinals organization. He also went to rookie camp with the Dallas Cowboys, and he was an academic All-American. So
he still is quite a guy. It hasn't changed at all in terms of his personality since I first met him.
Illinois in need of a stop here. And Williams in the passing lanes with the steal. Nice pass to McClain, but he can't knock it down. Frank Williams' shot knocked out of bounds by Axtell.
Well, McClain started it with good solid defense, and Williams then made a good pass. Axtell just made a better defensive play in coming back to get that block. I mean, Williams gets the ball and he makes a good solid bounce pass, and then Heinrich does a good job of making sure that McClain can't finish.
And finally, Frank Williams on point with a big bomb, a three-pointer. Kansas trying to quickly answer. Drew Gooden's shot, no good. He gets his own rebound.
Let me tell you, Darren, did you see that, how quickly he got up?
He is a quick leaper.
Boy, I mean, he shot the ball and got himself, looked like under the basket. Before anybody else could react, he tipped it again. Roy Williams has to be happy with this young freshman. Collison on the out with fouls. Gooden at the line.
Where he shoots 78%, charges that foul to Demir Kupalya. Have you ever had a freshman come in and lead the team in rebounds?
Very rarely.
When you talk about Kansas, the last guy to do that, you're talking Danny Manning.
But Danny Manning was everything in what was then the Big Eight.
Danny Manning, Rayful Prince, the only two freshmen that were able to come in and lead the team in rebounding. Smooth stroke. He's up to 7 now.
Kansas has come out, gone into a 2-3 zone, which is a pretty solid thing to do because Williams doesn't. Boy, he just made a tough shot.
He is not shy.
No, he is not gun shy.
He may miss some, but that doesn't knock his confidence as Gregory tries to answer. Over to Bradford and Gooden, the quick turnaround.
See the soft touch, quick hand? He caught it softly, got it, never brought it down.
Kansas by 7.
seconds to go. Here's
He's feeling it
again.
He's feeling it. I can tell when he let it go. He is feeling it.
That gets the Illini to within 4. The lead has been as large as 12. And Gregory loses the ball out of bounds. We have a timeout on the floor. The Illini have cut the lead from 12 down to 4. Frank Williams stealing it from 3. 28-24, Kansas. Kansas with the lead. 3:13 left here in the first half. Line Kruger, he knows about Kansas. He would face off against them plenty of times as a player. Pretty successful. As an assistant coach, pretty successful. But when he got the head job over at K-State, and then he played them a couple of times at Florida, things a little bit different.
Yeah, he's known about Kansas because he was born there. So he's known about them a long time. Just hadn't been able to get help from some of his teams. Kansas comes back out playing man-to-man because they had to get a handle on Williams.
Here's Bradford. Again off the mark.
Good pressure by Gregory on the shot.
Well, you mentioned it in the break when Bradford now playing a little bit more of a point guard as Chenoweth lets one go and he clanks it off the front iron. Ashante Johnson tried to knock it and then did knock it off of Cleotis Brown, but you mentioned it in the break when you have Bradford, he's struggling a little bit. It looks like what they've done is kind of rotated him around and put him in the 1 slot, and Williams played a little bit more of the 2.
And they've changed it back since then. They got, it must be some blood on Bochy, so he's got to come out. But you're right. That's how Williams got going. They've changed it back and put Williams back out front. But originally in the zone, they had Bradford out front, and that's what allowed Williams to come free for those 2 3-pointers he knocked down.
And they're going to have to clean up. Looks like he just got a little strawberry there on the. Maybe something wrong with his shoe. Here comes the trap by the Jayhawks.
Got to be strong with the ball, and you'll find an open man if they're trapping. There you go.
Pass by Williams, and the big slam dunk. Brian Cook, and he's fouled.
If you're strong with the ball against any trap, you get opportunities because there's 2-on-1. And here Bradford is strong. 2 times it looks like Kansas is going to get it. He comes over the top, gets the ball to William, who makes a one-handed pass to Brian Cook, who knocks down the foul shot after dunking.
He dunked that on Chenoweth, the 7'1" center.
Went.
Illinois to within 1. Skip pass, nice little save there by Heinrich, and Gregory finishes strong.
Tough find.
Wow, that was a great play by Heinrich. Two minutes to go here in Chicago. Williams with the pull-up.
Solid defense that time by Heinrich.
Air ball kept alive by the Illini. Cleotis Brown off the glass.
Wow, he's flying around everywhere over the rim. I mean, those are some tough decisions.
Heinrich loses it, and they call a foul on Bradford.
Boy, I don't know about that one.
He got bailed out on that one, Quinn.
I don't think there's any doubt about it.
How about the last time down, Kansas?
Well, Kansas was basically had thrown the ball away, and Heinrich just makes a great effort to save it to Gregory to get a dunk. But that pass was errant and was going out of bounds, and Heinrich gets him a basket.
I tell you, Heinrich has a certain amount of poise.
Yeah, he does. You're right there. And he's a nice little feel. I don't think he's as quick as Bochy, but I think he's as comfortable. But he doesn't make shots, obviously, 3-point shots like Jeff Bochy.
When you talk to Roy Williams about his freshman, he says, you know, they don't quite understand what they're doing.
No, they don't.
Heinrich from 3. Rebounded into the hands of Axtell. People are grabbing and clawing. Here comes Brown the other way. Skipped over to Williams. Oh, what a pass down low to Griffin.
He saw him right now. As soon as he got the ball, he saw him. All he did was improve his angle to be able to get a pass to him.
Gregory. And it goes off in the hands of Brown.
I mean, we've seen some athletic plays made here.
This is a big-time pass.
Oh, now watch him. He improves his angle. That's all he's trying to see. He sees him, and he just takes a dribble where he can get it through traffic.
Wow.
And that's how he's able to make the pass.
He whipped that thing like a fastball right by Chenoweth.
That's one of those that they don't go. You say, you know, I'm not sure where he was throwing it. It came out to be a great pass because it was received and there was a finish.
Just over a minute to go in the first half. Axtell out to Ashante Johnson. And he knocks down the shot from McKee.
Real comfortable with that shot. Axtell can knock down shots. And those are the two guys you got to point to when you're in an offense, playing against offense that's struggling.
Illinois has gotten as close as one, but they can't seem to break through and take the lead. Lucas Johnson, another traveling violation. So another turnover on him. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, it's the Courtyard by Marriott halftime report. Dickie V's Blenders at the 1AA championship preview. And we'll take a look at the top five. It's Larry Beal back in the studio. And Donnie Gray calls a foul on the far side.
On Luke Axtell. And they're telling him he better calm down. He's got a little bit of a temper. And what happened was Lucas Johnson found a little point, and he kind of put, you know, every now and then if somebody wants to hurt you, you get a little cut, you stick a finger in it. That's what Luke Johnson just did to Luke Axtell.
Rubbing a little salt in the wound.
Yeah, and that's what, and Donnie Gray is talking to Luke, wants him to calm down a little bit.
Lucas Johnson at the line.
I'll send Lucas Johnson to the free throw stripe. And Lucas Johnson, an interesting guy. Last year really struggled from the field, shot 25% from the field, 25% from three. And then the Big Ten tournament hit, and he just turned into a killer.
He's got, you know, it's not necessarily a consistent game, but he has a bit of an overall game that when you see it in spurts, you say, boy, there's more there. And I think he has to work on developing some consistency with his game, but you don't have to worry about consistency and effort.
His older brother, Brian Johnson, played for the Illini. I remember that 98 Big Ten championship team. So he knocks down the free throws. And Illinois within one. Roy Williams wants to talk it over. So with 30 seconds left to go in the first half, Kansas with a 1-point lead. We will be back in Chicago.
This is the year, my friend, we get off the bunny trail.
Oh, yeah?
32-31, number 6 on top of number 22. You know, join ESPN tomorrow night when Doug Flutie and the Buffalo Bills take on the Arizona Cardinals in this week's edition of ESPN Sunday Night Football. Coverage begins at 7:30 with NFL Prime Time. Then at 9, quarterback Brett Favre on Monday. It's the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings battling. Randy Moss taking on Brett Favre. That's ABC's Monday Night Football. ESPN and ABC, your exclusive homes for primetime NFL football. And we're in that part of the season where you really can't afford to lose any games, Quinn.
They all count over there in that black and blue division. You get over there.
What a season. It'll be fun to see Doug Flutie.
You know, that's a classic example of somebody not listening to someone saying you can't do. Went to the NFL, it didn't work, came back and made it big.
Shot is missed. There's 8 seconds left and a quick timeout by Lon Kruger. So with 7.2 seconds remaining in the first half.
You know, the interesting thing about this, I thought the timeout Roy Williams took was great. I think this one is great because you got 7 seconds. You have plenty of time to set something up. The one guy who has not really been in the game has been Cory Bradford. I mean, he's got 2 foul shots, but he's not been able to get it to go down. And the Illini find themselves in a position that should they make a shot, they go up and have a 3-point shot, they can go up. Even a 2-point with that good math I had going.
Darren Horton, Quinn Buckner with you here courtside. And as you look at these teams, you see the improvement in the maturation of Illinois. Kind of a similar game that they had against Duke where they got kind of in the hole and they fought their way back.
Yeah, and I think they're pulling on that experience and they're fighting their way back here before the half, which is really important because now when you go into the locker room, Lon Kruger has something to talk about. And primarily, their decisions have to be better. They're playing against a tough defensive team in Kansas, and you can't rush.
5 seconds left. Here's Williams. He wants it. He's going one-on-one spinning on Heinrich from 3. Air ball. We're at halftime.
Didn't get it deep enough.
So it's 32-31. Kansas with the lead. Let's go to the Courtyard Marriott report and our host, Larry.
To you by Warner Brothers' new motion picture Any Given Sunday at theaters everywhere starting Wednesday, December 22nd.
32-31, number 6 on top of number 22 here in Chicago. Normally we would say a tale of two halves, but really a split first half for Illinois. They played poorly early on. Frank Williams really struggled, but he put it together and finished really strong.
He did, Darren, and it was the question of who was going to knock down shots. As you kept saying, it seems like there's a lid on the basket, but finally Frankie Williams found a way to get the ball in the basket, and when he was looking to be aggressive at the hole, knock down some shots, I thought that's when the Illini made their run.
You said that they were rotating the offense. As we take a look at the first half stats, take a look at the field goal percentage there by Kansas, 38%. The Illini 29%. The free throw line, Kansas been there a lot less, but more proficient, and the three-point shooting fairly even. And you look at the rebounding, the Jayhawks really getting it done on the glass in the turnover battle. Fairly even. There he is, Frank Williams, a fantastic high school player. Some would call him a high school legend. This guy took on the likes of Kevin Garnett, Michael Wright, Ronnie Fields at Chicago Farragut High School, and he came out the winner. Won 3 state titles at Peoria. As we get on with the second half, Kenny Gregory attacking the glass. And they knock it off of the hands of Robert Archibald, so the Jayhawks retain possession.
Well, Lon Kruger at half had to say, guys, we've struggled with some things here, but we find a way to stay in the game, because it looked as though Kansas had the momentum, the direction, everything going their way for the majority of the game until Frank Williams got going. And Illinois actually has come out in a zone to try to keep some of the inside play from going.
Boshi through the lane, loses it. Nice defense by Cleotis Brown.
I said to you at half, the interesting thing about Illinois is all of a sudden Bradford hadn't done a whole lot. Archibald gets his first basket of the game. Bradford hadn't made a field goal yet. He's 0 for 8.
Nice move by Archibald. Actually gives the Fighting Illini their first lead. And Archibald picks up a cheap foul down low, getting physical with Collison.
He's trying to. His problem is he's retaliating with Collison. Collison is a physical player. Roy Williams likes the Collison on the block because he will ask for the ball and get himself positioned.
Fighting Illini actually led it 2-zip. Here's Boshi with another 3. It's automatic.
Well, that's the tough part. See, they can probably get away with a zone if you look at them with Heinrich in the game. It's a lot more difficult because Boshi can shoot the shot from the three-point area.
Here's Williams. Flanks it off the side of the rim. Here's Bradford. He's a really versatile player. 6'9", really can pass the ball. Had 7 assists against Ohio State. He has 5 rebounds this game. Collison again with the footwork. Took an extra step there.
He's lucky. He's lucky he stepped out of bounds because he actually hooked. He took his elbow and hooked the guy, and the official caught him stepping out of bounds. Watch his right elbow. Watch. See, he hooks it. That's a hook, even though it's just an elbow. That's illegal. He's lucky he didn't pick up a foul.
Good point. Out on the baseline, and I believe there's a timeout call by Lon Kruger. Yeah, there was a timeout inadvertently called by Lon Kruger to get a substitution in, and I don't think Kruger meant to call it. I think he was indicating that a substitute was coming in, but somehow Donnie Gray took it as a timeout.
He really did. He misconstrued what Lon Kruger was trying to do, which was get a guy in the game. This is a tough matchup, I think, for Williams, because I think Boshi's pretty good on the ball. He'll run and jump. This is what they get.
Kenny Gregory in the passing lanes gets the turnover. Little give and go. Look at the reverse, but too strong on the spin.
Too much Brian Cook. Give it up.
Bradford for 3. Got it.
But Frankie Williams got it to him in rhythm, so you've got to give Williams some credit from the first half to the second half, better understanding what he needs to do.
Illinois back up by 1. Collison harassed down low, and it goes out of bounds off of the leg of Frank Williams.
They're kind of playing like a 1-1-3 where they keep the three big people down there. They'll keep Brown down on one end, and they'll keep Cook down there. But when you get the opportunity, as they do here from Brown, now watch Brown get it, and just watch it. It's just kind of a rhythm. Right away, Williams moves the ball, and Bradford was waiting for it. Wide open, he'll drill threes.
Now, why do you play this defense? Oh, Williams gets the turnover and takes it the distance.
This is a little more focused Illini team than we saw first.
And Illinois has their largest lead of 3. Collison forces the issue and draws a foul. Leonis Brown picks up his second foul. Roy Williams not happy with what he sees.
I like how Roy gets a little quick timeout action. His own version of a little 30-second timeout, TV timeout real quick. He runs them over there, gives them a little instruction, and they run back on the court.
Really effective.
Using every opportunity to teach us what it really is.
Collison, the 61% free throw shooter, misses his first miss for Kansas today, I should say.
Kansas hadn't gotten there very much. But I'll tell you what they've done. They've passed the ball well because they only had 13 baskets and they had 12 assists in the first half, as they called over the back on that play. So they've done a good job with that. They just haven't broken anybody down and gotten fouled.
Roy Williams not that unhappy. Chenoweth picks up his 3rd foul. But I think he likes that foul because he's aggressive and he's trying to get the ball.
Oh, good pass.
Bradford for another 3, and he's really feeling it.
Oh, but it was a big-time pass. A zone, if you pass over the top, the defense can't recover fast enough. And they threw it down the sideline and over the top.
And the Fighting Illini have exploded out of the gate here in the second half.
And their defense has gotten better because their offense has come along.
Their largest lead of 6. Let's see if the Jayhawks can weather it. Gregory thinks about it. Boshi will let it go. He is so confident.
He's confident.
He is 4 for 4 from three-point land, Quinn.
Because he, you shoot 60%, you'll be confident. But nobody puts a hand up. You've got to get out on it. I don't care where he is. If you're in a zone, somebody has to pay particular attention to Jeff Boshi.
Nice defense by Bradford.
He'll give it up.
Oh, he kept it. Gets his own rebound, and
that's why they want him on the floor. I mean, he had to look like give and took it back.
Kansas to within 1. See, Bradford does so many things. Rebound, assist, pass to Griffin. His short shot is blocked, but they're going to get Bradford with a reaching foul.
He had the good contest, and that's what you want to do on a shot, is contest it. But instead, he followed through. And that more often than not will cause you to get a foul.
That will be the 3rd foul on Nick Bradford. You see the subs?
Well, you look at the subs for both teams. Both of them played like 11 players in the first half. Ohio State struggled with this when they played Kansas, and Kansas did so well at Allen Fieldhouse because Ohio State they got 23 minutes off their bench. So they didn't get a lot of production. Matter of fact, Scooney Penn played the entire game. So by the end of the game, Kansas and its defense had worn Ohio State. Scooney Penn and Michael Redd, they tired them out. But these two teams play a lot of players.
And it's interesting. You would think by playing so many players, sometimes it's hard to get into a rhythm of a game when you have so many fresh bodies coming in. But really not a problem in this game.
It's not the way these guys have been able to teach their guys. You got to play with who's there on the floor. And then if you play fundamentals, it really doesn't matter who's on the floor.
Gooden gets the rebound. What a productive first half he had.
Yeah, I thought he was solid, and you and I were talking about that a little bit. He played in the first half, played 10 minutes, had 8 points and 6 rebounds. And we talked about Nick Collison, who struggled. Gooden had a big-time first half.
Here's Boshi. Williams on him now. Shot clock down to 10. Bradford patiently passes it out to Collison. Shot clock down to 5. Inside, knocked away by Bradford with 3 seconds left on the shot clock. And we have a timeout on the floor. The Illini strong out of the second half. They're up 42-40 is our score. We'll be back. Would sleep, watch ESPN.
Yes, indeed.
I like that one. Pretty creative. 42-40 is our score. The Illini with the lead. And really, when you look at the success of the Illini, it's something that started last year in the Big Ten tournament. They really started to believe in their ability. They beat Minnesota. They beat Indiana. They beat Ohio State. And they had that big game against Michigan State where they come up short.
Well, yeah, and that was after coming off. Shot clock was down, and Boshi couldn't get it off.
Remember, they only had 3 seconds to shoot the ball.
You got to remember, they won the Big Ten championship in '98, so they had a good team. But what happened when Lon Kruger got there, the one thing they didn't have was a sophomore class. The only guy that would have been a sophomore was, if you will, would have been Ryan Blackwell, who transferred.
Right.
So that would have been his senior year. So that's why they were woefully down. And to see the improvement they made over the course of last season was pretty incredible.
Griffin, strong to the hole.
Illinois has done in the second half, they've done a much better job of contesting the direction of the ball with Kansas. Kansas, remember we talked in the first half, could get their offense, particularly with Jeff Boshi in the game.
Collison spinning into another body and another turnover for the freshman. That's 4 for him. You know, you talk about Illinois' offense. First half, 29%. 4, 5, or 6 actually to begin the second half. And it reflects on the scoreboard as they lead by 4.
Yeah, oh, boy. I tell you what, Cory Bradford can pull up from where he was. This is a hoop.
Griffin with all kinds of moves.
That's why I told you, that's a hoop. He's really good in there. This is a hoop.
That was a low post clinic. And Illinois has tied their largest lead of the game, and they've got a foul
on Nick Bradford,
and that is going to be his 4th.
You know who got it? Lucas Johnson, the same person that got Luke Axtell. I mean, that's what he does. He finds out where you're going, cuts off the angles, and a little bit of a frustration foul. Bradford pushed him to pick up his 4th.
Now, when you think about him going to the bench, remember, Nick Bradford leads the team in assists at 6'9". So it's 6 turnovers by the Jayhawks here in the second half. Griffin again, feeling it.
He's ready to roll now. He's got his confidence going because they got the outside with Bradford. Griffin bringing the inside.
The largest lead of the game for the Illini. Now leading by 8. Marlon London. Tough shot. Can't get the roll. And wait a minute, let's see what they call. They got a foul. Is it on Chenoweth?
No, they're going to give the ball out of bounds. This is good officiating. Ed Hightower had the angle, and there was potentially a foul. The ball went out. It's one of those, because Illinois got the ball, they didn't run the risk of taking Roy's top guy, Chenoweth, and getting him out of the game. Now, you'll see here, tough shot by London, because Cook is 6'9". And you'll see in front of Chenoweth is Bradford, and he slings him out of there. Bradford may have backed into him, but they decided not to make that call and gave the Illini the ball back.
Johnson from the corner. Too strong, but the Illini are now getting the breaks. They got the rebound.
Oh, this is the outside they want because they got Bradford on that side who can shoot it.
Bradford for 3. Front iron. Rebounded by Griffin. More front iron, but Cook digs it out. Finally, London with the rebound.
Good effort on the glass. Good tenacity on the part of the Kansas.
Heinrich lost it, but chased it down. Here's Collison down low, good. And they'll get a foul on Lucas Johnson.
I'll tell you what, Lucas Johnson does some good things. I mean, he's gotten those 2 foul calls. On the second offensive rebound, it was Johnson who blocked out and cleared everyone. Right here, they get it to Gooden, who's got an easy basket if Johnson doesn't come over there, because Griffin couldn't get in position.
Collison, double team, kicks out Axtell. 3-pointer is good.
That's what he does. Knock down long shots.
Here's Williams to the hole, and Heinrich picks up a foul. That's his third. See Chenoweth on the bench.
Boshi as well.
Take a look at the team foul situation.
That was somewhat, those fouls were reflective of the fact that you look, first half 14 foul shots by the Illini, only 4. Even though they made 4 for Kansas, they were just able to get and do a better job from that position.
Here's Williams in and out, but they have another rebound. Bradford got it.
Oh, he gave the crowd a little wink on the way back. Got that feeling.
And you wonder how long can they have. Here's Williams with the steal. He's going to take it the distance for the layup. And I was going to say, you have to wonder how long they can have Boshi on the bench. Gooden going baseline and draws a foul. But they are just a different team with Boshi on the bench.
Yeah, they have just a tough time. This group is kind of a different group out there. London's out there, Axtell out there, Collison. When you think about it, these guys are new on there. But new is not what it is from the three-point land for Cory Bradford. I mean, he got it, gave a little wink, a little smile to the side, and then Frank Williams did an outstanding job picking up the steal going the other way.
They've got their largest lead at 10. 40 straight games with at least one three-pointer by Cory Bradford. Gooden knocks down the free throws. Cuts the lead to 9. Here's Williams trying to work on Heinrich.
He's not going anywhere.
Forcing the issue.
See, I said this to you before. He's a two-guard. Ron may try to develop him to a point guard, but he's basically playing, by himself.
Line Kruger doing a little coaching. We're going to take a timeout. 53-44, Illinois. It is a tale of two halves. The Illini so strong here in the second. 53-44 is our score. Tuesday night, 7 o'clock, Coach Bobby Knight and the Indiana Hoosiers taking on the ninth-ranked Tar Heels of North Carolina in this year's Jimmy V Classic. Then it's Billy Donovan and his 8th-ranked Florida Gators against the hometown favorite Scarlet Knights Rutgers. That's in the nightcap. It's the Jimmy V Classic. Tuesday night, starting at 7 right here on ESPN. For more, you can log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network. Go.com. Cory Bradford. What second half for him. Illini on a 12-3 run in the last 4 minutes.
And part of it due to the fact they've caused turnovers to Kansas. Kansas averages 18 turnovers. They've got 18 already.
Axtell on the baseline. How quick is Gooden off his feet?
Oh, he got held. Gooden, I know we were talking about it. That young man has got a chance to be a really terrific player because he is so active. He's long and has a good feel. Here, Luke Axtell takes it. A little bit of a difficult shot, but he probably can make it. You can see the reach there. He gets it again. And then all of a sudden you see Gooden just kind of disappear because Kripal just pulled him out the way. Otherwise, he'd had a good shot at getting the next rebound.
Heinrich bounce pass into Collison. They have their 3 freshmen on the floor along with Marlon London. Here's Heinrich from 3. Got it.
Now, Heinrich knocks down the 3, but London's a sophomore, and Axtell, this is his first year of really, playing in a year, so it's a real inexperienced group.
Boshi coming in on the next dead ball for the Jayhawks. Here's Johnson taking it around the baseline, draws a foul. He's not necessarily exciting, but he does the little things.
I knew you were going to pick up on that because that is exactly what Lucas Johnson does. Nothing really outstanding, just the little things that help Ron Cougars and the Fighting Illini find ways to win games.
Starts that last foul to Marlon London, his 3rd. Knocks down the front end. Lucas Johnson, sophomore, shoots 70%. As Boshi checks back in for Heinrich, who gave him some valuable minutes. But when Boshi's in there, it's almost like a security blanket.
If your point guard's in there, believe me, guys know when the good point guard is in the game, and they're looking to get in the ball because they don't want to turn it over when they feel confident that Jeff will know what to do with it. And when a guy shoots 60% from the three-point line, you'll take your chances with him having it.
Lead back up to 8. 11 minutes to go here in Chicago. Darren Horton, Glenn Buckner with you. Kansas and the Illini. Here's Axtell with the bomb. London with the rebound. He goes up strong but can't get the roll. Gooden, again with those quick hands, knocks it off of one of the Illini players, and Kansas will keep possession.
There are a lot of good young players in college basketball. We talk about Nick Collison. Drew Gooden is as good as any of them.
Gooden actually kind of a sleeper.
Watch this. Lucas Johnson just got a foul on. Did he get it on Axtell? No,
actually,
he got it on
Collison. And that's Collison's fourth.
I mean, that's Lucas Johnson with him.
Collison has fouled out 2 of the last 3 games that he's played. And they'll have to go back with Chenoweth. You see the turnover situation. Kansas already over their season average.
See, this is the other thing they get from both shoes. See how much better pressure he puts on Williams?
Bradford's pass nearly picked off, and the skip pass inside by Griffin. Just a little too high.
Game is starting to pick up in terms of tempo, closer to what it was early in the first half, which I think favors Kansas. I think they're very comfortable playing at that faster speed.
13th turnover for Illinois. Do you feel the momentum shifting?
A little bit. Just a little bit.
You surprised Chenoweth hasn't been a bigger factor?
Game is a little fast with Chenoweth. You see Drew Gooden in it again. Most outstanding player at the Great Alaska Shootout, the freshman. So he's got game.
He is fantastic. Really kind of a sleeper. Nice bounce pass down to Kupaya.
That's what Williams needs to use his speed for. We're talking about Gooden. Double-double already. 11 points, 10 boards. Young fella.
Here's action. And there you see Roy Williams doing some coaching. Trying to communicate to Luke Axtell what to do. Charge that foul to Frank Williams.
So with Axtell and Bochy on the floor, they got shooters. So if Gooden starts to get going, he can stretch. The defense can be stretched. Give him room.
Next foul, Kansas is in the bonus. So we got a foul down low. It's on Kupaya. That's his second.
Kupaya was trying to get himself positioned on the right side. You'll see he's run out there. If they call that on Kupaya, that is a bad call. There is no chance that's on Kupaya. His arm got locked. And it got locked as Chenoweth, he did. He clamped down on it and locked it.
The referee's finally realizing that Kansas is in the bonus.
Yeah.
And how ironic is this? Chenoweth, who held Kupaya, now will go to the line to shoot 1-and-1.
Sometimes officials missed foul. That is one they clearly missed.
Axtell gets the rebound, can't knock it down, and Griffin finally goes up and vices it. Williams.
Oh,
nice
what a dime.
Johnson with the fake and the shot. Kupaya digs out the rebound.
Look at him. He's trying to tell him to calm down. Bradford, who played point guard for this team last year, comes to get the ball. I'm looking to try to get it for Bradford as soon as I can.
Williams into the corner. Kicked out Kupaya. Luke Axtell in the passing lane.
He won't get there. There's no way he'll get there.
And he draws a foul. It could be either on Johnson or Kupaya. Let's see who they get.
They think they get Johnson. I thought he got there first. I mean, Kupaya.
Yeah, they got Kupaya.
Kupaya got there first because he threw the pass and he knew he'd made a mistake. And I said, there's no way he's getting to the basket.
That could have been a double foul there.
These guys, you know, that Roy Williams has to face in terms of fouls. Illinois doesn't mind them fouling.
Luke Axtell, the transfer from Texas, going to the line. where he shoots 70%.
You talked about the house that Jordan built. Roy Williams recruited Michael Jordan to North Carolina when he was an assistant there.
They still have a good relationship to this day.
Has a great relationship with him. You can see the house that Jordan built.
How about the decorations that Michael put up?
Nice giving spirit.
So the free throws get the Jayhawks to within 6.
They go to a 2-3 zone. They'll keep Chenoweth in the middle. They'll keep somebody chasing out on Bradford.
Skip pass over to Johnson. Leotis Brown kicked into the corner. Bradford for 3. Rolls around and Chenoweth with a rebound. Boshi from 3. In and out. London with the active hands.
Oh.
Jayhawks all over the board.
Eating the boards up and can't get it to go.
And they can't convert.
But it was great effort. You got to applaud those kids. They're in there fighting and fighting and almost too hard. At some point, you got to kind of get it up there and just let it go in. They shot it too hard. Too anxious.
Just under 8 minutes to go. Here's Griffin, double team. Skipped out to Brown. The pull-up from the baseline.
Ooh, big-time move there. One dribble hard right. The defense can't recover. Brown the driller.
Lead back to 8. Gooden on Kripalia.
That got partially blocked.
Rebounded by Brown.
Got numbers.
Check that. That's Griffin. Here's Brown on the other end. The reverse is no good, and Chenoweth gets the rebound as bodies fly. Axtell for 3.
That's one way to get a break on the other side. Luke pulling up.
What action? End to end. And the timeout on the floor. They're going to bring in Kenny Gregory. What happened, Clint?
They're confirming whether or not that was a three-point shot because it happened so quick because you said the pace of the game. The officials just confirmed that was a 3. It was deep enough.
Timeout on the floor. 5-point lead for the Illini. We'll be back. 59-54. The Fighting Illini looking for their first victory over a ranked team. And it's interesting, Quinn. It's the young players for both of these teams that are making the majority of the contributions as you take a look at the freshman and sophomore production.
And neither of these schools are necessarily overly affected by the early departure by players. It's just the nature of they've been able to get some really good young talent, bring it in, and let it develop.
Talked to Roy Williams about that. He says, you know, with the advancement of camps, a lot of high school players come in very prepared to play at this level.
Because they play a lot of games in the summer.
Bradford for 3.
But Lucas Johnson has been huge for the Illini. That's who makes him dribble to his left to draw the man off of Cory Bradford.
A foul inside. That will send Kenny Gregory to the line.
Well, that might not be a bad deal since Kenny Gregory really struggles from the foul line at about 37%.
Because he's 2 for 2 in this game.
Yeah. Law of averages. I mean, I hope he makes them for him. I mean, I'm not pulling for one way or the other, just for him, but a guy that struggles so much with that.
Roy Williams says it hasn't been an issue yet, but
it will be.
He says down the stretch they're going to need him to hit those free throws, and he hits the front iron here. These, you know, there's some schools and some venues that have soft rims. I don't think you can classify this place as having soft rims. They're kind of hard and unforgiving.
I think Mr. Jordan might disagree with me. I don't know about anybody else. Even though he struggles with his foul shot, and that might have been a little hard shot, I thought the rim took it pretty good.
Here you see Michael Jordan retired his number. That's just a,
foregone conclusion.
Exactly. You don't even think about that.
Back in the man-to-man is Kansas.
Williams from 3. Too strong. Gregory with the rebound. Loses the ball. Cleotis Brown gets it. Here come the Illini the other way. Bradford for 3. He's got it.
Williams threw it up to him. Gregory was trying to move it up a little too quickly. I'm telling you, Drew Gooden is no joke, boy. I mean, you got two very good freshmen going at it. Brian Cook and Drew Gooden down there on the block. Gooden very comfortable around there.
Last year he was at El Cerrito High School in Richmond, California. And now doing it for the Jayhawks in the United Center. Williams into the corner. Cleotis Brown knocks down a 3.
I'm telling you, this young man, having done a number of the Illini games last year, doing the Big Ten for ESPN, is night and day better than he was last year.
Gooden. Here come the Illini.
Control.
Brown with the pull-up. Axtell gets the rebound, and they'll have an over-the-back foul on Griffin. Don't forget, later on tonight on ESPN2, Nebraska taking on Michael Wright and the 3rd-ranked Wildcats of Arizona in the opening game of the Las Vegas Shootout. That's live from the Thomas & Mack Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's Nebraska and Arizona tonight, 9:30 on ESPN2.
Arizona with those, they've got great freshman guards. They got Jason Gardner, who's just up the road from Indianapolis, starting for them. Gilbert Arenas, who very few people knew about. And, you know, Lou Olson finds a way to come up with some really solid perimeter play, and he has some freshmen doing that.
And inside, not bad with Lauren Wood, Michael Wright, huh?
Oh, how about Jefferson?
They have a crew.
They have a very good group.
Kansas is 4 of 11 from the line in this game.
And they can't get momentum or stop momentum if you don't make foul shots.
Down low, Griffin, and he took it strong and drew the foul. And you see the little shoulder he gave Chenoweth there?
Oh, yeah. Listen, I played against Peoria Manual when I was young. Those are some really tough kids, but a solid pass because Cleotis Brown set a good pick. And to make sure there was a little knowledge about, hey, don't come in here real hard because I'm coming back.
That's 4 fouls on Eric Chenoweth. Now they have to go back. The next dead ball, you'll see Bradford come back in with Marlon London and Nick Collison. 2 of those players have 4 fouls, and the other 3. Griffin's foul shot is off the mark. Here comes Bradford. He has 4. Collison has 4. Marlon London has 3. Out goes Gooden, Axtell.
And not a lot of
Gregory.
I'm sorry, Darren. Not a lot of letdown in terms of the talent level in that exchange. One of the real benefits of having such a deep team as Roy Williams does.
But with Chenoweth out there, you got 3 players with 4 fouls on the floor. 5 minutes and 9 seconds left to go. It's stretch time. You got to do it.
Oh, you got to play.
Second free throw, no good, and Collison with the rebound. Collison working down low, loses the ball, and it's Johnson coming up with it. Bradford getting down on the floor.
Oh, look at him.
Kept alive by Collison. Bradford can't convert it. What action? Here's Collison underneath, draws a foul, and still no basket.
There is clearly a lid on it, but what action? Roy Williams and the Jayhawks are just fighting. They've had 2 or 3 separate times or opportunities within getting offensive rebounds. Collison loses the ball. Johnson will come up with it. Good effort there to stay after. Collison dives for it. Bradford misses, comes up, gets it partially blocked. Chenoweth gets it, passes Collison, who makes a good move, got fouled on the ground. Woo.
Wow, I get tired just looking at that.
Try saying it.
Woo. Collison now will go to the free throw line where he shoots 61%. Kansas has really struggled in the second half from the line. Down by 11. In and out. Those tight rims.
those tight rims, if you don't put it in the net, it won't go. I mean, you can't hope for it to go in.
And we have a timeout by Lon Kruger. He wants to talk about it. Gives us a chance to talk about, if you're Roy Williams right now, what are you telling your team?
Well, at this point, just keep battling, because I think that's what they've done. And taking a look here at Nick Bradford, who looks like he probably got hit on the bridge of the nose. And, you know, that stings. He's not reacting overly as though it's broken. So hopefully he'll get back in the game.
Well, Quinn, just 4 remain. Muhammad Ali, Jim Brown, Michael Jordan, Babe Ruth. Who will be Sports Century's greatest athlete? Tune in Friday, Christmas Eve at 10 to find out who number 3 and 4 is. And then on Sunday, December 26th at 5, the 2 top athletes of the century will be announced. That's this Friday at 10 o'clock right here on ESPN. For more, you can log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com. And I'm going to ask you, who do you have as number 1?
I'm the one that's always asking you, so let me ask you. Don't try that.
Well, I mean, personally, growing up in this era, obviously, I would say Michael Jordan, but there's a lot of people that would say Babe Ruth was the first big-time athlete that this country ever knew.
I'll tell you what. I saw Jim Brown play, and I on television, obviously. I never got the football game. Flat out to play it. Michael Jordan, I think everybody knows that because they've been able to see him in this era.
And Heinrich picks up a cheap foul, and that will be his 4th.
I was in Indianapolis last night, and Muhammad Ali was at the game, and I got a cheer. I mean, so I've been very blessed to be around that caliber, you know, those people. It was.
I mean, Ali obviously for the social stands that he took, and
ahead of his time.
Yeah, he was a true champion. Williams hits the free throw and increases the lead. Largest lead of the game for Illinois, now at 12. They had 2 shots earlier in the season against ranked opponents in Maryland and Duke. Came up shy. Lon Kruger said, we really feel like we're a better team coming in today. And they certainly are proving it thus far. Plenty of basketball left to be played.
I agree with you, but they're better because they played those 2 games. And that's part of what you and I were talking to Coach Kruger about, because when you play against teams that we were talking about, you play against Duke and Maryland, they have quality players. They show you how hard you have to prepare in order to beat them. And from that point alone, you make some improvement.
Chenoweth over to Boshi. He fires the 3. Tough shot. Chased down by London. Here's Heinrich from 3. Couldn't get the rebound as Griffin beat him to the spot.
Beat him to the spot, came with a strong rebound.
10 rebounds for Griffin.
Going to be a little more patience shown by the Illini.
It's interesting for Kansas. We talk about how deep they are, but who is the go-to guy?
Well, I don't think they've necessarily developed that yet.
I tell you, Bradford has been the go-to guy in the second half, even though he misses that 3-point attempt.
That came because Bradford last year was the only guy that had offense going at all. So that's why the Illini know where to go.
Collison chases down London's miss. Chenoweth with a hook shot. Too strong. Tap back in, but still not able to go down by London.
How many blown opportunities have they had?
3 minutes, 15 seconds left to go. Illinois with a 12-point lead on number 6 Kansas, their largest lead of the game.
He better go because he was just short of a 5-second call.
Now it's Bradford working on Boshi. Into the lane.
Good move.
Oh, what a big time.
Come with the drill move. Take your one-way, spin out of it. Oh.
He has 17 points in the second half. And a foul inside, charged to Illinois.
You got to go where the defense lets you go. Go solid defense by both. Watch. Come back inside. Nobody gets that nice little 7-footer. Cory Bradford feeling it. Oh, that was a tough move. Made to look easy, too.
Kansas has missed the last 4 free throws. Really, they're missing opportunities to score with the clock stopped. And finally, Collison ends the drought.
It hasn't been partially the free throws there. It's been the missed opportunities inside. Their second chance points. They've had occasions where they've tipped it 3-4 times or more and not gotten it in.
And how about the valuable minutes by Lucas Johnson?
Got to have role players. He's a very solid role player for him.
Second free throw is good by Collison. We have a timeout on the floor. Cory Bradford putting on a show in the United Center. We'll be back.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by Savane. Pants that look good no matter what you're doing.
I tell you what, Quinn, that move was worthy of that logo that's out on the floor. NBA. I mean, that was big time. 71-59. Darren Horton, Quinn Buckner with you in Chicago. Number 22, Illinois, proving worthy.
They've been able to come up to the task, but Bradford, as much as anybody, struggled mightily in the first half. Couldn't get any shots to go down. 0 for 8, 0 for 3 from the three-point line. He had just 2 points at half. He's got 17 here in the second half. 6 of 9. I mean, and been able just to find a way to get a basket when they need it.
Chukwudebe couldn't hold on.
That was I agree with you, but that was Brian Cook's fault. Because he threw a high pass, but he threw it away from the body, so you don't have a chance to get your body under to brace yourself.
Good point. There's Chenoweth broken from outside.
And they got Cleotis Brown, a bigger person on Jeff Boschee now.
Heinrich loses it, but right into his hands in a kickball, I believe. Wait a minute.
They called him for kicking. He tried to kick the ball.
No, wait a minute. Yeah, it was a grabbing foul.
By Brian Cook.
That'll be the second foul on Cook. Actually, his third. And now time becoming a factor.
It's a factor. Kansas is in a good position. They haven't scored a basket at all in the last 3:30.
They missed their last 8 shots from the field and really have struggled at the free throw strike. Just 50% from the line, 10 of 20 in the game. And the second one is good. That gets them to within 11, and Collison will check back in.
But you know what else it does? It also gives Roy Williams and Kansas a chance to set up their zone, whatever defense they want to play. When you make that kind of substitution, you get a little speed on the floor now with Chenoweth sitting down.
Interesting, your leader, Eric Chenoweth, going to the bench at this point in the game.
He's not quick enough to stay with some of these Illinois players.
Out of bounds off of Kansas, so Illinois will keep possession. 2:31 left to go.
Cory Bradford has beaten his man the length of the court twice, and Brian Cook hadn't looked at it yet.
And they have to call a timeout. Nice defense by Gooden.
But the tough part about it is Brian Cook taking the ball out of bounds and him not panicking. So he made a good move by taking that timeout.
Eric Chenoweth, by the way, 2 of 7 from the field. His last field goal came at 6:50 in the first half, and now he is on the bench. Don't forget, following us here on ESPN, the 1AA championship game between Georgia Southern and Youngstown State. Penguins always in that championship game. That's coming up next right here on ESPN. Darren Horton and Quinn Buckner, number 22. You know, we talked about it all game. They've had problems against Maryland. They have problems against Duke, but they're showing that they're ready to play against Kansas.
Well, they got some leadership at the guard position. Bradford stepped up. Williams made some shots early, so it's made a difference for them. In addition to that, they've been able to get some pretty solid plays on the other end.
How about the touchdown pass and Bradford?
Well, that's what I was talking about. Darren, that's what I was talking about. He's beat him twice, and they just told him to throw it over the top because that man there has to cover the front side.
Like a receiver. Heinrich blocked from behind by Frank Williams. Kept alive. Gregory to Gooden for the slam.
Good effort just to get back on the defense, but again, Roy Williams is going to take a little time out here.
And that breaks a 4-minute drought by the Jayhawks. Their first field goal in 4 minutes.
Now, you know why he took his time out? Because, one, Roy Williams likes to do it. Two, he knows what we just talked about. 3 times Cory Bradford has beaten this man. So he's got to figure out a way to try to cover the man coming to the ball, Bradford, and then making sure that pass doesn't get thrown the length of the court. That's exactly what he said. You got to get on the side of it. You'll see. I mean, he's ready to throw it right away because Bochy is he's between the ball and Bradford, which leaves the basket loose, and that's how he gets the strong finish. Your touchdown catch, you know, little Butch Carter.
I tell you what, man, Ron Turner might want to look, you know, at Cory Bradford for the Illini football team, who had a great season, by the way.
Yeah, they really did. See, and what they did was he went to the side and then put him up grounding to the ball. Nice, solid piece of coaching right there.
Under 2 minutes to go. Now they'll work the clock. Williams off a screen. Nice bounce pass knocked away by Gregory. And Cook loses it out of bounds. But no, they say it goes off of one of the Jayhawks.
But, and I saw Lon Kruger. A point guard does not make that pass when you're trying to preserve a lead. You're not trying to create any more offensive opportunities where you got to thread the needle. You're making a solid play now.
Georgia Southern, Youngstown State for the 1AA title following us here on ESPN.
Leotis Brown just saved the turnover. Williams throws it across court and throws it weakly.
Touch foul on Bochy. And that will send Leotis Brown to the line. Big victory for Lon Kruger if they should hold on. Coming into this game, they were 1-7 against top 10 opponents.
Yeah, it depends on when you play some of those top 10 opponents. Some of those guys you play, and he can go through the conference like you do in the Big Ten, where they'll have two teams in the top 10, and you lose to those, you know. So that's something that can happen. But when you're putting the program together, which Kruger hadn't necessarily been able to get the talent from freshman to senior class. So all of that has to come into play as well. But I think overall, anybody who has followed Lon Kruger from Pan Am, Texas Pan Am, to Kansas State, to Florida, where he took a team to the Final Four, and here at Illinois, so he's one of the outstanding coaches in the game.
Brown hits 1 of 2. He certainly has got his 300th win a week ago against his old school Pan Am. Bochy's shot no good. Gooden got away with a foul. Heinrich. His shot too strong, and Collison with an over-the-back foul, and that'll do it for Collison.
Yeah, and Griffin made sure that he paid somebody back for the foul that wasn't called for Williams, which is dangerous, because that's when things can get out of hand.
When you talk about Peoria Manual, they know how to play physical basketball.
Oh, yes. they do all the time, because there are no officials out on the courts where they play.
So for the 3rd time, Nick Collison going to the bench with 5 fouls. He goes in. Nick Bradford coming in. He has 4 fouls. This has been a tough stretch for Roy Williams and his bunch. Their 3rd game against a Big Ten opponent. Lost to Michigan State.
Got Ohio State.
Tough game here against Illinois at the United Center.
Well, actually what he got was preseason. In the Big Ten, the top 3 teams. I mean, Roy Williams got what in the Big Ten would be the 3 best teams, and he came out at the way it's going. He's going to come out 1 and 2. But they're still picked to win the Big 12, which is what they pretty much have dominated. Oklahoma State is always in there. Texas had it last year.
So you like Kansas over Texas this year in the Big 12?
Yeah, I think they're deeper. I think that's why they get it. I think Rick Barnes has done an outstanding job. Don't get me wrong. And I think Chris Mihm is probably the best center in college basketball. But I just think that's a lot of talent over there.
Heinrich beat his man off the dribble, scores the basket, calls the timeout. Don't forget, following us here on ESPN, Georgia Southern against Youngstown State for the 1AA championship. Roy Williams continues to coach. As for Illinois, they will be playing also their 3rd game against a Big 12 opponent. They beat Kansas State. They got Kansas today, and next up for them
That border war against Missouri, that'll be a good one.
That's a good game for them. Quinn Snyder now at Missouri, former Duke assistant. But that's a game that has added intensity because you said it's a border war, so everybody gets extremely or extra excited to play that game.
They'll fill up that Trans World Zone down in St. Louis for that game. For Kansas, they've got Princeton coming in to Lawrence Fieldhouse. Allen Fieldhouse, I should say. Here comes the trap. Skip pass over to Griffin. Here's Brown. His short jump shot is good. And he's fouled. And Heinrich hurt his knee on the play.
He comes up a little gimpy, but he gets up and gets back into play. Able to advance the ball quickly over the top of the zone makes the difference. You see Otis Brown just turned London all the way around. And that's what happened. When Brown fell down, he fell on the knee of Heinrich.
And Heinrich is done. He's fouled out of the game. So 2 freshmen have fouled out. 6 points for Kirk Heinrich. Otis Brown hits the front end. Actually completes the 3-point play. 78-64. Boshi.
They closed out on him.
Yeah.
They did a much better job because a couple times when Boshi was taking shots, Griffin closed out on him. They did a much better job.
And I tell you a telling stat: 21 turnovers for the Jayhawks today. Young team that is growing up. They are 0-3 in the United Center the last 3 times they've come here.
You know, you watch I always watch to see how guys adjust. Roy Williams is coaching against with Lon Kruger, a guy that does a really good job making adjustments. Brian Cook had to take that timeout a moment ago because he was getting the ball in bounds. And Lon Kruger on that particular out-of-bounds play made Cleotis Brown take the ball out of bounds because Brian Cook was standing over there ready to take it. And Lon didn't want to take the chance that Cook would have to take another timeout. He doesn't want to give that to Kansas.
I tell you, I'm really impressed with Lon Kruger and what he has done with this program. You know, I asked him flat out, he's got 3 McDonald's All-Americans. All these Mr. Basketballs and everything. He says none of that matters. He says what really matters is how hard the kids play.
See, I'm not a big proponent of McDonald's All-American and all that either. I mean, that means the guys are talented. I mean, that's a talent that Jeff Boshi showed. Guys is All-American in my book when he proves he's an All-American at that level. He's got to be an All-American at the college level before you can really say he's something special. I mean, a lot of guys, believe me, a lot of All-Americans on some of these college teams. But when they get to play at this level with this kind of intensity, it just doesn't show up.
39 seconds left. A free throw shooting contest at this point. I'll tell you one thing. Kansas is really growing. And it's interesting that such a big part of their team are their freshmen. As you take a look at what Frankie Williams has done.
As you look at Illinois and what they've been able to put together, Bradford coming to get it done a little bit, but you got Griffin coming in, Cook is helping. I think they've got a good group for a team game. I mean, everybody knows their role, pitches in. That's what good teams do.
Boshi another 3.
Like it's nothing. I mean, it can just stroke you.
And so quick. Gets the lead to within 13 and another timeout. Gives me an opportunity to ask you about Eric Chenoweth, who really did not play a big role today. In order for Kansas to be the powerhouse that we were expecting of them to be this season, ranked 6th, I mean, does he have to play a bigger role?
Well, don't misconstrue it. I'm not. The rankings kind of skews everything, I think, in some degree, because I don't know if they're justifiable. Eric Chenoweth couldn't play in this game because it got too fast. That young man in the screen there, Drew Gooden can, because he's a faster player, a little more agile player. And this was a game that depended much more on agility, and Chenoweth just didn't have that to bring to the table.
You see his numbers with 4 points, 10 rebounds. But the story really has been this young man, Cory Bradford. 2 points at halftime, but just exploded in the second half. Johnson gave them some valuable minutes as well. A foul, and Johnson will go to the free throw line. They're going to see if they can steal it at the line, but Illinois has not been missing the free throws.
No, Illinois is playing it well. Kansas just couldn't withstand the barrage of threes by Illinois.
At the line is Lucas Johnson. 2 shots.
Johnson is 70% free throw shooter. Very quietly, Jeff Boschee has had a fantastic game.
With the threes he's making, I don't know how he can be quiet. He made 6 of 8.
65%. At some point, you'd imagine it would drop, but he's just been going along for about 4 games now with that 60% clip, and actually came into this game shooting 61%, now up to 65%.
You got Johnson on him trying to get somebody bigger. That's haven't been together very much. Gooden, Boschee, Roy Williams, hair about to be pulled down. Because freshmen are still going to make freshman mistakes as a rule.
And the Jayhawks will concede this one. 84-70, the final, as the coaches embrace one another. They have tremendous respect for one another. And it's official now. 84-70 is our final score. Don't forget the Division I AA championship game coming up next. For Quinn Buckner and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Darren Horton, saying so long from Chicago. Rich Waltz and Rodney.